The work on Prewave started 11 years ago in my PhD thesis in computer science at the Technical University in Vienna. Very early in my computer science PhD, I was exposed to the topic of supply chain management. And this is when an incident happened that was moving me personally. On the 24th of April in 2013, a building in Bangladesh collapsed, a building called Rana Plaza, where hundreds of suppliers of the textile industry were located. And this collapse tragically killed more than 1,100 workers. I was looking into this event in more detail, and what was particularly irritating was that there were early warning signs that this was going to happen. There were hundreds of workers demonstrating outside of the factory building that they were concerned about the cracks in the wall, about the building safety. But these early warning signs were simply not seen. Even the big brands didn't know that they had suppliers in this factory building. But even if they would have known that, they wouldn't have known what was going on around the factory in real time, simply because supply chains are very intransparent. Something became clear to me. This is a circumstance that is completely unacceptable in our society, and we need to do something to fix worldwide supply chains. Next to the supply chain management topic in this computer science PhD was exposed to this topic of social media analytics, and that was 2012, 2013, where these new amounts of data were just coming up all over the globe that we could analyze in real time. So for my PhD, I decided to focus on the question, can we use social media data to better understand supply chain risks? What happened afterwards, fast forward, was 5 years of academic research, leading research projects in Asia and in Europe in order to develop a prototype that could turn unstructured media data into structured risk signals. Then we founded the company, my co-founder Harald and I in Vienna, and we had 3 years of looking for product market fit, and then 2 years of steep growth. Today, Prewave is monitoring more than 1 million factory buildings all around the world, sending real-time signals to our 150 enterprise customers, informing them whenever something is likely to go wrong. And we are growing quickly. If you want to know what this growth feels for us as a company, this was the team in 2021, team in 2022, and this was just a few months earlier in this year, our team in 2023. So what is it that we are doing? We have our AI technology in the middle, that is turning unstructured, mostly publicly available data, news data, web data, blog data, indices, public indices, into structured supply chain risk data. We help our clients to answer the questions, what is happening in my supply chain? What are the most riskiest suppliers I should focus on? And how does my sub-tier supply chain look like? So who are the suppliers of my suppliers and who are their suppliers? So with our end-to-end supply chain risk management platform, we help our clients to identify risk, prioritize risks, mitigate risks, and control the risk management process. What does it mean to identify risks? At the center, there are 2 questions. What is actually my supply chain? So with our supply chain mapping technology, we have a top-down and a bottom-up approach to uncover the deeper layers of the supply chain. Top-down, we are working with trading data to understand what are the suppliers of your suppliers. Bottom-up, we are mapping commodities and raw materials, such like rubber, leather, nickel, and so on, in order to understand the supply chains going into the other direction, from the raw material mine to the OEM, for example. This is how it looks like in the platform. And the second question, once you have understood how your supply chain actually looks like, which is actually not an easy task, is really to understand where the risk sits in your supply chain, what's going on. And this is where the natural language component comes into the game. So our technology, you can imagine it a bit as a supply chain risk search engine, looks into the web to understand what has happened at a particular factory, a particular mine in the past, and what is happening in real time. And it's producing these structured risk event alerts that then also help us to score suppliers into the past. But identifying risk is only the beginning. Prioritization is key, because our clients typically don't have like 10 suppliers, they have 10,000 to 50 to 70,000 suppliers. So what we can provide them fully automatically without interacting with any of their suppliers is a risk matrix, showing them where the most risky suppliers are located and where should they focus their resources on to mitigate risk. Mitigation is the next step. So obviously once you have understood where the risk is, so what can you do next in order to bring this risk down? You really want to get the suppliers from the upper right to the lower left or to the upper left. And this is where we this year launched our action platform. We are working with partners all around the world to provide actions that can help to bring the risk at a specific supplier down. And this could be an audit, this could be an awareness training, consulting, supplier engagement. This is an example from our partner, Olula, it's the startup as well. They provide a technology for worker engagement sessions that can be rolled out quite quickly and about any factory around the world. The last piece is reporting and controlling. Obviously, since Corona and the political situation in the last years, supply chain has become a on top of the agenda for any C-level. So we provide management dashboards and also reports to be compliant to the regulations that are arising in the supply chain management space. Kirche is one of our longest-standing customers. You might know them, the cleaning equipment company. They recently did an ROI calculation, and with Prewave, they have 40 times less effort analyzing risks in their supply chains, which brings them a lot of savings. But even more importantly, they can systematically minimize the risk and save 30 million damage potential over the next 5 years. With Prewave, we're in this epicenter of a few mega trends: supply chain, sustainability, and artificial intelligence. On top of that, there are a lot of regulatory tailwinds in our space. So there are a lot of national and international regulations now really targeting the supply chains of European, but also American companies. And Prewave also is a solution to become compliant to these various regulations. Very importantly, there is the Corporate Sustainability Due Diligence Directive that actually in these days is now finalized in Brussels. That is the biggest legislation that has ever come into effect in the world targeting supply chains, and it will affect 20,000 European and also non-European companies in the next years. At Prewave, we believe, together with our team, with our shareholders, with our clients, that it's very important that we establish a new level of transparency in order to be able to prevent things like Rana Plaza from happening in the future. If you're interested, please come to our booth, or tomorrow we have a workshop at 12:45. If you want to learn more about it, we are happy to talk to you. Thank you very much.